This is a short video on stick stem diameter. What you can see on screen, let's not let it go dark, 9.6mm is a standard DualShock 4 diameter of the stick, and I've tried to equalise that measurement with bearing races. You've got a 9mm bearing wrapped to 9.6mm on the caliper there. Below it, where the S is, that is a silicon sleeve, which is harder to quantify. It's like 0.5 thick, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then I've got a 10mm bearing on the right top, and then below I've got a 10mm set on the stick left side, standalone with no silicon, and a 9.6 plus silicon on the right. And I'm just going to scroll through some pictures of, that's the 10mm in the caliper there, just to show you it's a 10. Nothing else has changed on the other lot, I don't think. No. This is what I mean by the silicon radius is harder to quantify, because you're only touching one side at once and it will compress. So it may be 0.5 thick, but it compresses down to 0.3 on sharp edges, possibly, I don't know. And the difference between 9.6 and 10 is 0.4mm, isn't it? But I'm just going to run a test. This is the first time I've done this test, just to see how it compares. Now, what we're showing here, I've got the 10mm on the sticks, both of them here in this picture, and then the sleeves and one of the bearings standing upright that's 9.6 wrapped. Is that the last photo? Nope. Come on, next. What's this one? That's just the dial caliper set at 10mm, just to say, right, and that's from the other video, we don't need that. Let's go over to the fresh test. Right, as I look at the control pad, I've got the 10mm bearing on the left and I've got the 9.6 with the silicon on the right. And the other day I calibrated this control pad to the 9.6s with the silicon as the 0 point of the outer edge. As you can see there, look, and then you can get a slight bit of overpressure if you put more pressure on it, which is the beauty of using those silicon sleeves, and they stop your plastic sticks from wearing as much. But just for the sake of calibration, come on, don't freeze, I want to get all of the pads set to exactly the same calibration range by using a 9.6 plus silicon, no matter what control pad it is. As long as it's the DualShock 4s, of course, because all different pads have got different diameter sticks. So 10mm on the left, how does it show the radial? It's showing, stop freezing, showing more of a range, but I can't remember what it was before. So the 10mm bearing is smaller than the range of the 9.6 with the silicon on it. So I'm not going to use the 10mm bearing in place of the other one set up for the calibration tool. Right, right, 10.9. Right, let me just unscrew this right hand stick with the silicon on. Take the silicon off. Take the silicon off, so it's now a 9.6 bearing. Just screw the stick back on. And I might need to retest it. So that is giving it a more potent range now. So using the silicon to calibrate your pads will make your pad about 14.8 on the overshoot of the error. 14.9, it might even go even higher than that in a minute. The sellotape will compress slightly if it hasn't already. Right, let's switch that to the 10mm I've got laying around. So take off the 9.6 wrap and then 10mm bearing on, so they're both 10mm now. If I can get the screw cap back on, that's it. So this should travel a lot less, well, less than the 14.9. Let's reset the test circularity, and that's just showing you the thickness of the shaft and the outer circularity. So once you get wear, stick wear on your plastic shafts, everything will change. You will get more of a range. Right, so that's the two 10mm. And both of these, as I say, have been calibrated to 9.6 plus silicon as the 0 point. What can I do now? Let's put all of the 9.6s and the silicons on just to show you. Right, let's get it out of the dial calipers. I left it in. Right, undo the stick. Don't drop it on the floor. 10mm bearing off. 9.6 on. Silicon sleeve just set in there as well. Sorry this is taking so long, but it's fiddly. Oh, come on. Right. One side down. Left side removal. Off comes the 10mm. No washer underneath it. Good, I can't lose that. 9.6 wrap on with the silicon sleeve. Come on, get on there, don't fall off. Let's get the top on. Oh, come on. Right. 9.6 and silicons are on. They shouldn't affect that 12, average error 12, because they're restricted. Now, what this pad was calibrated to. Start again. Do not lag out on me. Yeah, the silicon thickness one side to the other might have shifted, or I don't know what. But that is what it ended up calibrated to as the 0 point. Come on, stop lagging out. You see what I mean? And then if I put extreme pressure on the stick, it's harder to do in that bottom left, isn't it? On the right stick anyway. You can get a little bit more out of it, but I did light pressure when I calibrated them so that the silicon would be the 0 point. It's just a little highlight on the technology, how it works, what I'm up against trying to mess around with this, but I've currently got extreme problems with the Hall Effect standalone sides. The way they work, it's odd. When you use the calibration GUI, it draws in the plus side, so it draws in that side and that side tight to the radial circle, but then this corner stays a nice, well, not a nice, stays right tight into the corner as a plus position. But this control pad I'm currently showing you is the old Xbox One Elite Series 2 stick setup in my DualShock 4 with the potentiometer track and wiper sides. This is the one I have not modified. That'll do for that. That's enough rambling. Thanks for watching if you bothered.